Hello, Bruce.
How do you do, Simon?
It's lovely to see your smiling face. What a shame all the listeners can't see it.
I know. Never mind. They can hear the smile in my voice.
Indeed, yes.
And that's mostly because that's what I do for a living.
What, smile?
Well, no, voice.
Oh, voice. Yes. Do you? Oh,
no,
so
I, the smile is free, and is pretty much there all the time.
Yes, it is pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But the voice is the voice is there all the time. Actually, it's just the microphone that's not always there.
Yes, there you go. That's it. It's the addition of a microphone that makes you and I professional voiceover artists. Well, no, it's not. It's years of training and experience and flamboyant character and
exactly
so on. But the microphone helps.
So I'm not Simon Wells.
And I'm not Bruce Fielding.
We are podcasters.
We are.
And we have this podcast called
Factoraly,
where we take a relatively dull subject and just talk about it for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Or so.
Yeah.
Right. So it's geese.
Yes. We are
or is it gooses?
Ah, right. Well, no, it's geese.
Is it?
Yeah.
So the plural of goose is geese?
The plural of goose is geese, but the plural of moose isn't meese.
Okay. And the plural of gander?
Ganders.
Okay. So I'm going to take a gander at that later.
Yes, let's do that. So there's a reason for this. This is one of those old English things, to sort of prove how ridiculous the English language is. The plural of goose is geese, but the plural of moose is moose, not meese. And it's all about where the word comes from. So goose it has a Germanic background, so the old English...
Is that why geese do the goose step?
Oh, that's very good. Oh, I might dig out the old badum tish sound effect for that one. So Old English word goose, it's always meant goose, comes from a Germanic dialect where the word was more like guns or gens. And Germanic words have a tendency to change the vowel when they are pluralized. So, anything that sort of has its roots in a Germanic language, mouse becomes mice, goose becomes geese. And that process, I hadn't realised it, that process is called umlauting. You know an umlaut, the two little dots above a vowel in German. That word doesn't just mean the icon itself, it's actually the process of changing a vowel sound for a different meaning. So goose gets umlauted to geese, whereas the word moose is a derivative of a Native American word where they don't do that.
Okay.
Which is why moose isn't pluralised to meese.
Well, I never did.
Neither did I. So that's where the word goose comes from. What is a goose? Have you got a definitive definition of what a goose is, Bruce? A goose, Bruce?
They live on the canal, and my dog barks at them.
Okay, so geese are the same as boats.
He doesn't usually bark at boats.
Doesn't he? Oh, well, that's totally different then.
No, I have a website called Barking at Geese, which is basically lots of creative writing.
Oh, brilliant. That's a great name.
And it's basically because my dog barks at geese.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So a definition I found, it's slightly awkward, but a goose is a large water bird with a long neck, short legs, webbed feet, and a short, broad bill. That sounds
a swan.
Exactly, that sounds like a swan. So it goes on to sort of suggest that a goose is larger than a duck, but it's smaller and has a shorter neck than a swan. So it seems to me that a goose only exists in comparison to two other creatures that it is not.
Yes, but it tastes better than swan and duck.
I've never had swan. Well, actually, I've never had goose, so I can't make the comparison. Have you? Do you think that's the case?
If I'd had swan, I wouldn't admit to it.
No.
Certainly not on air. But no, I haven't had swan.
Fine.
I have had duck and I have had goose. And goose, I think, it's very fatty, but it's very nice, very delicious flavour.
Okay. So that's what a goose is. We talked about the origin of the word goose. There are a couple of other interesting words associated with goose. A female goose is called...
a goose.
A goose, yeah. You don't often get that, but the sort of the loose term goose for all of those animals that look like geese.
Yes.
But specifically a female one of those things is called a goose. A male goose is a gander, where we get taking a gander to mean having a look at something, which allegedly comes from the idea of a goose sort of stretching its neck out as if trying to get a good look at something.
Oh, is it? I thought it was rhyming slang.
Well, I thought it was rhyming slang as well. I couldn't find any evidence to that. It does seem to be suggestive of a goose craning its neck, like a crane, not a goose.
Fair enough.
And baby geese are called goslings. So what do you know about geese? What interesting things have you found?
They're very good guard dogs.
Guard dogs?
Yeah.
Right.
So geese are employed in Brazilian prisons.
Okay.
To prevent prisoners from breaking out.
Oh, did you mention this on our episode on prisons?
I think I might have done.
This is suddenly ringing a bell.
Yeah. There are 4 jails in Brazil that use geese.
Right.
To help prevent escapes in São Paulo's Paraíba Valley. And they say that nobody's escaped since they pulled the geese in.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that can't be due to the... I mean, I know geese are reasonably powerful and aggressive and snappy creatures.
They make a noise.
But it's that, isn't it? It's the fact that they act as an alarm signal.
Absolutely. And they sleep with one eye open. So they're always alert.
Huh.
They're also quite useful for, I think we talked about this on another episode as well. We talked about cleaning chimneys.
Oh, yes. You chuck a goose down a chimney and they flutter about and dislodge all the soot.
Yes. So you chuck it down on a rope.
Yeah.
And then you pull it back up the chimney and it dislodges all the soot with its wings as it's flapping about. You can also use chickens and turkeys and stuff. But geese are the bird of choice. There's a rule which is the blacker the bird, the cleaner the chimney.
Okay. Is this a current practice or is this something that's been outlawed and forgotten to the annals of history?
I used to have a house with lots of chimneys.
Yeah.
And the chimney sweep did not employ geese.
Okay, fine.
What else are they useful for? Oh, turning spits for roasting meat. Like they used to have spit dogs.
Oh, the dog wheel.
Yes.
Yes.
They used to use geese as well.
Did they? Oh, imagine the poor goose if what was on the spit was a goose.
Well, exactly. That would be a bad thing. They live a long time.
Do they?
Well, relatively, for a wild animal.
For a bird, yeah.
Yeah, they can live for about 25 years. Wild Canada geese can live for about 25 years.
That is quite a long time, isn't it, actually?
It is.
I read that in captivity they can sort of hit 30 to 35.
Wow.
But yeah, I would never have expected a wild goose to be that old. You sort of walk past a gaggle of geese in the park and I would never have thought that any of them were that old.
True. And they fly in a V.
They do.
Do you know why they fly in a V?
I would imagine it's to do with aerodynamics, that the ones at the front break up the air resistance for the ones behind.
Yes, so it's energy efficient because you get some lift coming off the bird in front of you.
Like cyclists.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a peloton.
Yes.
A peloton of geese. So it's energy efficient. I think they can save 8% energy by flying in a V.
Really?
So they can go 8% further on the energy that they have by flying in a V because of the reduced wind resistance and so on.
And they alternate who's in front so that it's not always the same bird taking the brunt of the wind resistance. They sort of swap over every now and then.
Yes, a rotating leadership.
Yes. Do you know what the V shape is called?
I don't.
Or at least the collective noun for a group of geese in flight is called a skein.
Oh, okay. So a flock of geese.
So a flock of geese in general.
Yes.
A gaggle of geese on the ground specifically and often making noise.
Yes.
A skein of geese flying in a V formation. And the word skein is like a skein of wool. It's a length of yarn or thread. And the idea, if you sort of look up to the sky and you see this group of geese, it sort of looks like a bit of thread that's being pulled in the middle.
Okay.
And the rest of the thread is wafting behind it.
Yeah.
So it's called a skein of geese.
How clever. They're useful for keeping you warm.
Yep, I've often sat there on a chilly night hugging a goose to keep me warm.
Well, goose down.
Ah, yes, that makes more sense.
So so goose down is light and warm, and it's got very good breathability, and air circulates quite well within goose down. I mean, they make great duvets.
Yes,
I've got a couple of
duvets. Geese in your duvet.
I have Hungarian geese.
Oh, really?
The best ones. It's really fabulous, and it's sort of, you get all this sort of like technical outerwear, which is sort of meant to keep you warm, but actually a goose down coat will keep you warm very effectively, more effectively than anything man-made.
Right. Okay. So for all of those reasons, feathers, protection, food, etc., geese have been domesticated for quite a while. We sort of, my first image of a goose is that it's out in the wild bobbing along the Thames or something like that. But they were domesticated all the way back in Egyptian times. It's always the Egyptians. Or the Greeks.
All the Greeks.
All the Romans. Circa 3000 BC, there's evidence in the hieroglyphics of the ancient Egyptians keeping geese. For all of those reasons, they produce good, rich, fatty meat. Their feathers are useful. And even guarding property. Apparently there's a suggestion that the Egyptians were using guard geese. 3,000
like
years
the
BC.
Brazilians.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And goose was actually a very popular food for a very long time. They're quite cheap things to breed. Goose actually used to be the bird of choice at Christmas time.
Oh, it still is.
Still
I see.
is.
You mean instead of turkey?
Instead of turkey, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I've only ever known turkey at Christmas, but geese were the prevalent bird, and to many people still are. It was only, well, no, that's not quite true. A Christmas Carol by Dickens popularised the idea of having turkey at Christmas. Please see our previous episode on Christmas.
Yes.
They were already beginning to be eaten, but it was very much a Christmas Carol. The Cratchits had a meagre goose for their Christmas dinner, and then Scrooge, post-awakening, goes and buys a big fat turkey to give to the Cratchits for dinner. But yes, up until that point, goose was the main thing. And apparently there's a date in the Christian calendar called St. Martin's Feast, or Martinmas, which is on the 11th of November. And goose is always eaten then because of an old fable about St. Martin. So I've never heard this before, but this fella, St. Martin of Tours in France, was due to be ordained as a bishop. And for one reason or another, he didn't want the job. So he went into hiding, and he allegedly hid in a goose pen. And as the authorities were coming looking for him, the geese made a heck of a noise, as already mentioned.
Yes.
And he was discovered. And therefore, in celebration / commiseration of that, goose is always eaten on St. Martin's Feast.
There's a nursery rhyme, isn't there?
Probably.
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you.
Yes, indeed. And I remember thinking as a kid, why are we talking about a goose? Surely that should be the turkey.
Can we get on to Mother Goose?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mother Goose is brilliant.
I'm not overly familiar, actually.
Are you not?
I'm aware of her existence, but that's about it.
Okay. So The Tales of Mother Goose was a collection by Charles Perrault, primarily of fairy tales, but also of nursery rhymes.
Right.
So he originally started by collecting a load of fairy tales in about 1729.
Right.
A bit like the Brothers Grimm or Hans Christian Andersen.
Yes.
Kind of like going out and collecting all these folk tales.
Yeah.
The ones that Charles Perrault included in his Tales of Mother Goose were Cinderella, or the Little Glass Slipper, The Sleeping Beauty of the Wood, Little Thumb, Puss in Boots, Riquet with the Tuft, The Fairy, and Little Red Riding Hood. They were all collected together in this Tales of Mother Goose, which was a massively successful book.
How interesting.
And then a few years later, somebody collected another Mother Goose collection, which was nursery rhymes. And that was in 1781.
Right.
But I'll bet you know the nursery rhymes that are in Mother Goose as well. Mother Goose's Melody, or Sonnets for the Cradle.
Sonnets for the Cradle, that's lovely.
Yeah. So some of those are in there, like Handy Dandy Prickly Pandy, which you probably don't know. Which hand will you have? It's like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yes.
And its German equivalent, Windel, Wandel, in welchem Handel.
Much better.
There's a Ladybird, Fly Away Home. That's in there too. London Bridge is falling down.
Falling down?
Falling down. And talking of falling down, Humpty Dumpty is in there as well.
Ah, right.
So these were all collected together in this Mother Goose's melody.
Right.
Americans will tell you that there was a real person called Mother Goose.
So I was going to say, so why the Mother Goose? Is there a nursery rhyme or a story about Mother Goose, and that's just the name that this fella decided to pick?
Arbitrarily picked by Charles Perrault.
Interesting.
I mean, some people think there's some sort of hidden significance in nursery rhymes.
Yes. Okay.
They're political.
Yeah.
But there are a couple which were inspired by people at the time. Little Jack Horner.
Yes.
Sat in a corner.
Yes.
Supposed to be a reference to Thomas Horner of Mells, who did well for himself during the dissolution of the monasteries.
Oh, he was a politician, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting guy.
Speaking of geese that aren't really geese, you're something of a London historian, like my good self. Have you heard of the Winchester geese?
I have not. Oh, are these the ones in the boots?
No.
No. Okay.
Right, so the Winchester geese. If you go for a walk along the river in Southwark, round the corner from Borough Market, you have the remains of Winchester Palace, which is where the Bishop of Winchester used to live. That was sort of his London pad. And around the 12th century, there were a group of, shall we say, ladies of the night who operated in Southwark.
Understood.
And the Bishop of Winchester, being, the upright religious man that he was, decided that he would take these women under his wing. He decided that he would be the sole proprietor of their business. He would license them to ply their trade, and he would tax them in order to scoop off some of their income.
So the Pimp of Winchester?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And these women became known as the Winchester geese, or the Bishop of Winchester's geese in some records.
Wow.
And this went on for absolutely ages. This system sort of ran from the 12th all the way through to the 17th century. So for 500 years, the incumbent Bishop of Winchester in his London pad had his hand over these, local ladies.
What, to supplement the income?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yes. Wow.
And, to be completely two-faced about the entire thing, when any of these women died, because of the ungodly nature of their practice, they weren't allowed to be buried in churchyards, in consecrated ground. So he's taken their money, he's given them authority to do what they do, but he's denied them a resting place in the churchyard. Yeah. So there's a little plot of land round the corner from Borough Market called Crossbones Graveyard. And this was just a scrap of land that was used for burying people who were not of a particular faith, who couldn't be buried in a churchyard for whatever reason, because of their lifestyle, because they were from other faiths, whatever.
Yes, didn't believe in God.
Exactly. And one by one, these geese, these ladies, were buried in this graveyard, and it sort of soon became a popular place for nonconformists and non-religious people to be buried. And you can still go and visit the place now. There's a plaque there, there's a big gate covered in sort of ribbons and padlocks and trinkets and things in memory of people who weren't buried in consecrated ground for whatever reason. And it's become a bit of a tourist spot. And that's all because of the Winchester geese. And apparently the term Winchester goose became to mean the contraction of a venereal disease.
Oh.
Oops, I've got a case of the Winchester goose. And the pimples that you get with the aforementioned illness are allegedly what gave rise to the term goose pimples. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always assumed that it's because when you've plucked a goose, the sort of the skin has little bumps.
That's what I would assume as well, and it seems more practical, but the popularity of the term did seem to rise around this era, so I'm going to keep it. Good old Apocrypha.
So the geese that we see are mostly Canada geese, aren't they?
Yeah, so there are a lot of varieties. Myself and my family have a bit of an ornithological background, so I'm trying not to get too geeky about the variety of geese. We have quite a lot of different breeds in this country. We have pink-footed, white-breasted, Brent, Hawaiian, Barnacle, Canada, Egyptian, greylag. There are quite a lot of them, but yeah, we do seem to have quite a lot of Canada geese. And we actually have a couple of breeds that are named after the place that they come from, but they've actually ended up being indigenous to this country. So originally, Canada geese were from Canada, and they migrated to England when Canada got a bit too chilly. But actually, a bunch of these Canada geese were presented to King Charles II as a gift. In 1665, King Charles II opened up a wildfowl collection in St James's Park in London. And he had lots of different birds come from all over the world, including a bunch of Canada geese. So these Canada geese bred and bred and bred, and then spread to other areas of London. So the reason we have so many Canada geese in the UK is because of this group of like 5 geese that King Charles II acquired in 1665. So it's interesting because we have descendants of those geese who live in the UK all year round and have done for the last 400 years. But we do also get Canadian Canada geese who migrate here and then go back to Canada. So at certain times of the year, our Canada geese population sort of doubles.
Wow.
And it's the same for Egyptian geese as well. I don't know if you've seen these things. They're
quite fancy.
They're quite fancy. They're sort of brown underneath, reddish brown on top. They've got a sort of a red eye patch by the look of it, and they make a heck of a noise. And these things, again, were sort of introduced into the UK as an ornamental bird. They're originally from sub-Saharan Africa and the Nile Valley, hence the name Egyptian geese. But they were brought to the UK somewhere around the 17th century. Owners of big estates and parks and so on thought it would be nice to have fancy birds. You know, you sort of get the occasional peacock that lives in a National Trust property or something like that. So it was the same thing. And again, you know, a few of these birds escaped captivity, bred, and became quite successful. And then ever since 1971, the Egyptian goose has been on a list of official recognised English birds because, again, they live here all year round. They don't just come from Egypt and then go back. They are actually descendants of those birds. But apparently an Egyptian goose isn't a goose.
Is it a duck?
It's a duck.
It looks a bit like a duck.
It looks a bit like a duck. Apparently it's too short and squat to be a true goose. It's part of the shelduck family, which is a duck. I've always found it interesting to think is a Canada goose known as a Canada goose in Canada, or is it just called a goose?
Well, quite. Or is it called a jacket?
A jacket? Why would it be called a jacket?
Well, in 1957, there was a company founded called Metro Sportswear. And they made woolen vests and raincoats and snowsuits and stuff. And then the son-in-law of the guy who started it, Sam Tick, he decided that he would make it into a bit more warmth. So he bought this down machine that filled clothes with down. So they started to produce winter jackets more. And they were sort of supplying parkas to police and park rangers and various people under a brand called Snow Goose.
Oh, right, okay.
And then that sort of carried on until about 1982. And then the son-in-law took over the company. Anyway, ultimately, Snow Goose in the year 2000 was changed to Canada Goose.
Oh, I see.
So you may have seen Canada Goose parkas and sort of like these very sort of duvet-looking coats.
Yeah.
They are eye-wateringly expensive. I mean, there's one they make called an umber coat, which is basically just it's a normal puffer coat with zip-off sleeves. 1,825 quid.
I beg your pardon?
£1,825 to you, sir.
For a jacket?
For a jacket.
Goodness me.
That's why all the rappers wear them. You see lots of rich people in their Canada Goose gear because it's expensive.
Well, given how common Canada geese are, I can't help thinking it should be named after something a bit more fancy.
What else can you use geese for?
Don't know, what else?
Pens?
Pens? Quills?
Quills.
Ah.
So you would keep geese for your quills.
Right.
And in fact, Thomas Jefferson bred geese specifically for how good their quill feathers were.
Really?
And do you know this thing about quills where if you're right-handed, you need a left feather, and if you're left-handed, you need a right feather?
Oh, yes, because they sort of curve to one side or the other, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. Yes. So you can write with a goose.
Brilliant. Is that? Oh, now I might be making this up. Is that why we write with a pen?
Should we look that up?
I mean,
Go on. Yes. Let's go and have a look. Etymology of pen.
so it comes from the Latin word penna, meaning feather.
Well, you're right.
So we mentioned briefly in passing earlier on about migrating geese.
Yes.
So other than the ones that live here in the UK the whole time, many geese spend a lot of their time in Greenland and Canada and Alaska and the Arctic and jolly, jolly chilly places. Hence the feathers that keep you warm. When that gets a little bit too nippy, they pop over here to the UK and sort of spend their autumn, winter, spring here. And these birds fly a tremendous distance in order to do that. Brent geese fly over 3,000 miles across the Atlantic non-stop.
Wow.
And geese...
Non-stop?
Yeah. So geese are one of several birds who can actually fly whilst sleeping, or at least whilst half asleep.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier on they sleep with one eye open. They actually do sleep with one eye open, and they do it on the wing in flight.
Goodness.
So geese have this function called unihemispheric sleep, where they switch off half of their brain. So half of their brain goes to sleep with one eye shut, and the other half of their brain carries on being active with one eye open, and they're not as alert as perhaps they might be. So the geese who are sort of at the front of the skein, taking the lead, they will stay wide awake and alert and in charge of the group. And then they'll sort of switch positions and, swap over. But by and large, these geese can fly 3,000 odd miles half asleep so that they don't have to land. They'll land every now and then to graze and drink and so on, but they can fly a heck of a long way. Canada geese can travel over 1,000 miles in a single day.
That's amazing. Sorry, I'm stunned.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Amazing.
Many other birds do it a different way. They sort of sleep for bursts of 10 seconds at a time and then wake up again. So they'll sort of be flying hell for leather.
Like driving along a motorway.
Yeah, they'll just drift off for 10 seconds, take a little bit of a dip in their flight and then sort of spark back to life again. But But no, geese actually take prolonged sleeps with half of their brain switched off.
That's brilliant. That migration has made some wonderful films, especially one wonderful, I don't know if you've seen it, called Fly Away Home.
I have, yes. Is that the one where
it's Jeff Daniels.
They sort of use a glider, a microlight. That's right, to teach the geese to fly away.
If you don't know this film, it's such a feel-good, rainy Sunday afternoon film. It's called Fly Away Home. And it's about, actually, that's another thing that goslings do, is they imprint. So the first thing they see, they assume is their mother.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
So this bunch of eggs which have been rescued hatch, and the first thing they see is Anna Paquin. Yeah, made in about 1996. But it's a fabulous film. It's such fun. There are actually a few sort of geese films. Father Goose back in 1964. Which was Cary Grant and Leslie Caron. It was basically Cary Grant in the Pacific on a small island.
Oh, right, okay.
And the Japanese are after various people. And Leslie Caron is a teacher with a whole load of French school children who end up on this island. And Cary Grant is this misogynistic old grouch who doesn't like children. And he's lumbered with Leslie Caron and a whole bunch of female school children.
Right. And presumably there's an amazing transformational character, life-changing thingy that takes place.
There is. Very, very sweet films. And then, not so sweet, and actually very rare these days, there was a TV film called The Snow Goose.
Right.
In 1971, which is about Dunkirk.
Oh, okay.
It's all about a guy who owns wetlands in Essex, which is populated by geese.
Right.
And he protects the geese, and played by Richard Harris.
Oh, okay.
And it's all about how this farmer went to Dunkirk and saved people off the beaches. Richard Harris is also in another film about geese, except it's not quite the same film. It's called Wild Geese.
Okay.
Which is from 1978. I'll give you the cast. Okay, so apart from Richard Harris, Richard Burton, Roger Moore, Hardy Kruger, Stuart Granger, Jeff Corrie, Frank Findlay, Barry Foster, Kenneth Griffith. I mean, this is a big star movie.
Crikey.
And you've never heard of it, have you?
No, I'm afraid I haven't.
So, yeah, made in 1978. It's about a bunch of mercenaries who fly off to Africa to rescue a new African leader who's being hunted and aimed to be assassinated. And they free him and bring him back to safety. Does Guinness have anything to say about geese?
Yes, it does. These are. I'm always a little bit wary of doing records about animals because the animals aren't aware that they're going for the records. This is someone who has measured or monitored or watched an animal, determined which breed of animal does it better, faster, whatever, and therefore it's gone into the record books. It's not someone attempting a record, but we've got them nonetheless. So we've got the fastest breed of goose. Generally speaking, geese fly somewhere between 30 to 40 miles an hour, which is quite fast. Well,
if they're doing 1,000 miles a day, they'd have to,
wouldn't they? Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of the average speed. They can get up to 70 miles per hour with a useful prevailing wind. But the fastest flying species of goose is called the spur-winged goose, native to Africa, and they can get up to 88 miles per hour.
So they travel through time.
Exactly, which I love because it just happens to be the speed at which the DeLorean enters time travel. I'm just sort of picturing this entire skein of geese all flooring it, flux capacitor, fluxing. The oldest goose, we already talked about sort of the average age range of geese, sort of 20, 25 years in the wild, 30 odd years in captivity. In 1976, a goose called George, who was owned by Florence Hull of Lancashire. A name like Hull, living in Lancashire, that's a bit divisive, but there you go.
I was going to say, yeah.
George the goose died at the age of 49 years and 8 months.
Oh, wow.
So he has the record of being the oldest ever goose. And then we've got the biggest goose, is a goose called Maxie, who is from Missouri. And Maxie stands a very proud 40 feet tall.
What?
With a wingspan of 65 feet.
This is not a real goose.
And she's made of fiberglass.
Why is she?
Why is she? It's a very good question. So this is a statue of a goose located in a place called Sumner in Missouri in the United States, which is dubbed the wild goose capital of the world.
Oh, okay.
Why? I don't know. They are particularly popular with geese, but apparently they are. And there's a local wildlife refuge there called Swan Lake.
Of course there is.
Which, again, it's the goose capital of the world. They have a wildlife refuge called Swan Lake.
Yeah.
Anyway, but to commemorate this location, an artist from Kansas City called David Jackson created this 40-foot tall, 2-ton fiberglass goose.
With its wings out?
With its wings out. It's quite big. Yeah.
So this wildlife park is called Swan Lake?
Yes.
Did you know that occasionally geese and swans mate?
I didn't. I don't think I've ever really thought about it, but I suppose they're roughly compatible, aren't they?
They are. And the young that hatch is called a swoose.
A swoose?
Yes.
Half swan, half goose?
Yes.
If you got a group of those, would they be Swiss? That's brilliant. Well, I think that's all the goose-related facts I have. I think I'm out for a goose. Oh no, that's a duck, isn't it?
That's a duck. Yes, I've run out of goose-related facts. I shall goose step my way away from the microphone and say thank you very much for listening.
Indeed, thank you for coming along and listening to us honking on about geese. If you've enjoyed listening to this, we would be most grateful if you'd go and give us a lovely, shiny 5-star review, please.
Oh, yes, please. And leave a note to say what it is that you liked about geese.
Yes. And then having done that, please tell all your nerdy friends about us so that they can come along and join in the fun as well.
Absolutely. And of course, I mean, because you're hearing this, you've probably subscribed already to the podcast, haven't you?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But just in case. So thank you all for coming along. Please come again next time for another fun-filled factual episode of
Factoraly.
Quacktoraly. Doing geese, not ducks.
Sorry.
I'll allow it.
Will you allow it?
I'll allow it.
Okay, Factoraly. Thank you very much. Au revoir.
Bye for now.